Hello, friends, and welcome back to r/ProRevenge. Today we have 3 great new revenge stories for you. But before we begin, if you're new here, don't forget to subscribe to the channel and turn on notifications so you don't miss a new video every single day. And our first story is, boss undervalues key employee and plays favorites. Made sure that was a big mistake. So I was working at a company as the marketing director. I won't say the industry because the details could connect me to this story. I worked at this company for almost 2 years. When I started, this company desperately needed help getting business, so I was hired because not only did I know marketing and have a good track record, but I also had a thorough understanding of the company's industry. Like I knew just as much about the industry as the boss did. So I get to work and do what everyone in the company viewed as magic. Drop all the BS marketing tricks that died 10 years ago. I did digital ads, print ads, graphic design, improved social media presence, video production in-house, commercials, billboards, partnered with the right vendors, improved their reputation. The list just goes on. Whatever they wanted done, I could do, and do it for a lot less very quickly. It took a little time and some major pitches to the boss to get what I needed, but all this resulted in increasing sales by 65%. Which they make about $4,500 profit per sale to ad, while saving the company about $90,000 in advertising costs and driving up revenue by, say, a cool $500,000 per year, maybe more. Now, I was on salary and would get a hefty bonus when we sold a set number of units. At first, I was fine with it. I liked a challenge. I knew what I needed to get to that number, but I was stuck making that base salary and I didn't have the resources I needed to make that bonus money, which I really needed. Then somehow I got switched to hourly instead of salary, when eventually I had to put in an extra 10 to 15 hours a week just to make a full week's pay. I ended up having some financial issues, lost my car, had to move back in with my parents, got into some debt, and ended up starting an internet business, thanks to an amazing friend, to make some passive income that gave me an extra $2,000 a month to start. That was somewhat close to my take-home pay at my day job, so I couldn't complain between the two incomes. So finally, when I got those extra tools I needed to do my job, I made those bonuses 2 months in a row. That's when I was happy and slowly started getting my finances back together. Now the boss and I were okay, kind of disconnected. He has this thing with girls. We ended up needing to hire more people because of all the extra business, one of which was a girl named Marla, who I got along with. We're still friends, honestly, but just a pain in the butt at best. She was pretty and the boss really liked her. Kisses her on the cheek every day, getting away with what people would normally get fired for, giving her gifts and the like. Then she wanted to make more money. So what does the boss do for his princess? Gives her a $400 raise per week and puts her on the same pay schedule as me. But what else did the boss do? He kept my salary the same and raised the set number of sold units in order for me to get a bonus to a pretty unrealistic number. Now, I know this girl's position, and in this industry, that's way too much to pay someone in her position unless they're like a manager, managed 10-plus reps. She wasn't. She was a rep and had no experience in the industry. It was ridiculous how she would get all the praise from him, just offered her everything in the world. Then I found out another girl named B-Word, who literally depends on me for about 50% of her job responsibilities and treats me like crap, makes about $200 more per week than I do, and got a few raises. Boss always praises her for her work that's usually done by me. I had a setback with my business and ended up not making that extra money for a few months. I was hurting bad from it, so I really depended on this job at that point, but still no way to make that bonus with real inconsistent paychecks. I was getting PO'd. Crap hit the fan a few times because of drama from employees, and that's when the boss would say I was doing a good job, but no raise or anything I could actually benefit from. So here I was working for this crap company where the arrogant boss just praises these girls for their work when literally I'm the one that's actually making the business thrive. The boss even made me work a late night on a night I really could not work, all because Marla wanted to keep her part-time job at a sushi restaurant. At the income she was making, nobody in their right mind would still be working at a restaurant. You'd think with those accomplishments, I would get me some sort of raise or something where I would benefit from this type of performance. Nope, I just get like a little pat on the back, worse pay than I started with, and very little commendation. all while these girls' successes were literally at my fingertips. Then it hit me. Their success was at my fingertips. Thankfully, in due time, I finally got back up with my business, learned from the mistakes, and came out making a very healthy income outside of this crap show job. I bought myself a nice luxury car as a reward for myself, a used RS7 for the car heads on here that nobody at work ever saw because of a dirty lot in the back for employees. So finally, sort of out of nowhere, I'd had enough. I was tired of being treated like crap after all the work I did for this place and watching these girls live more comfortably than I did. At this point, I didn't need the money this job was paying. My business could be my career. So I started planning my devastating exit strategy. First, I bought myself a plane ticket to New York City to spend some time with the family, and so I would commit to not staying. Thinking at what this job has put me through, what I've lost, how much I've burdened my family, all by taking advantage of me, I was pretty hurt by being treated the way I was. So I made sure what they had was gone. Google AdWords account, closed. Those great campaigns are all gone and can never be replicated. Vendor partnership accounts, closed. Weekly email blasts, gone. Email marketing account, closed. Never accessible again. Graphic designs, gone. Wiped my work computer. Videos and commercials I made, gone. Part of wiping my computer. Architectural video display system that I designed and installed that would have cost the company $10,000 to install, something the boss was obsessed with, shut off. Settings wiped. Sounds bad, but realistically, I had to, because a lot of those accounts were under my name, and I would never be able to train someone on how to manage any of that stuff. I had a pretty advanced skill set, but still. So I set up my revenge, and I walked in the following day with my casual clothes on. Marla was curious why. I told her not to worry about it. He walks in, gives the girls their daily kisses, and looks at me with this WTF look. Then I broke the news I was leaving. He asks why, and I told him I felt undervalued and it wasn't right how I accomplished all this for almost 2 years with no raise. He asked me to show Marla everything so she could do it. I had to explain the value of my time and how the lack of pay would make this resignation immediate. 2-week notice? Nope. The following night, I made sure to have a little sushi dinner before I took my trip. Marla was my server. B was also there. How joyous that was. Told Marla I was sorry for not telling her. She was a friend and upset. B-word was being fake nice about everything. They were set on trying their own strategy. I encouraged it, knowing they would mess it up, so I left but made sure they both saw my car. I left, and 3 days later, my phone was blowing up with Marla and B-word asking me how to do stuff where I would explain to them I had to close that account so it would not be tied to me. Boss tried calling me and asked me to come back with a significant raise. I respectfully declined. Then I quickly found out the following month, sales dropped significantly, and those girls were in hot water with the boss. And yesterday, my friend who knows what's going on in the industry shot me a text saying, "Start looking for a new job. XXXX competitor is buying you guys out." I replied, "LOL, I quit 4 months ago." And our second story. Manager and boss, brothers, from hell, get what they deserve. I was working at a distribution center that basically repacked clothes. Very famous brand. We were doing this job with an intern and another employee, so 3 in total. Our job was to load and unload the trucks and pick orders. Describes the amount of work needed to be done. You wouldn't say, but it was pretty hard work, especially in the summer with winter coats, handling 10,000 a day. The big boss had a little brother who was the manager of this place. The guy never accomplished anything in his life, didn't finish his education or anything whatsoever, leeching off others and being a general, look at me, I'm so special person. The big boss was also a D-head, but not as big as his little brother. The manager was known for being an a-hole to everyone and talking horrible about the foreign people working there, boasting about his big car and all of his expensive trips toward people that could never afford this, including towards us. Minimum wage job, by the way. So this manager decided one Monday to mock me in front of a lot of people. He did the same thing to the other guy I was working with, how useless we are, didn't get the right quota, and so on, telling his brother, and we end up having a talk with the big boss. The talk wasn't very special, but we both didn't feel accepted in any way. So me and the other guy were sick of the verbal abuse, hard work, and crappy pay. We came up with a plan. We decided to quit on the next Tuesday. This was possible and not needed to let them know in advance because we worked via an agency. We could quit whenever we wanted. Yes, here it comes. The day the intern had to go to school was a Tuesday. So that Tuesday morning, I called the manager first that I couldn't come to work. He was, of course, not happy. Then I called the agency and said that I was quitting. The other guy didn't even call the job. He just called the agency to avoid calling the manager from hell. So from what I've heard from one of my coworkers is that there was a massive panic that day, and the manager from hell even had to do some work himself because, of course, orders needed to be picked and prepared for the trucks, and no one was there to do it. They missed a few big orders and lost a bunch of money, probably $30,000 to $50,000. Would do it again. And our last story. Worked on a mobile game for a guy that decided not to pay me. Years ago, when I was new to mobile development, I worked on a mobile game for a guy that bought the existing code for the game from my previous boss. I didn't work on the game originally, but I got referred to him when he needed a developer to do some work on it. I was only hired to reskin the game and add the translation he provided. I did everything he hired me to do, but the underlying code he bought was crappy and had a lot of bugs. I even fixed some of those bugs, even though that wasn't what I was hired for. Since I was fairly new to the industry, I didn't take any money up front. Yeah, I know, stupid. But was going to get paid as soon as the app was in the Apple App Store. There were bugs in the code I couldn't fix at the time, and the original developers were no help, but he wouldn't pay me until they were fixed. After a bit of disagreement on what I was hired to do, he stopped answering my emails, so I logged back into the server and removed the web service code for the game to make the app completely useless. We never came to an agreement, so he had a useless game in the App Store that didn't work that he paid a fair amount of money for when he bought the code. F that guy. Hey guys, thank you all for watching the video to the end, and I'll see you in the next one.